sir. So what is subconscious, superconscious, cosmic conscious?
Subconscious and consciousness are usual terms in psychology. You know what the conscious mind is? Do we know what the conscious mind is? The mind that is acting what we are saying it is doing. All this is part of the conscious activity. Just now I am sitting and talking is a conscious activity. You are asking me a question is a conscious activity. But there is also a large part of the mind or brain, you can use the terms, interchangeable terms, which is called the subconscious, in which all the experiences of the past are stored, plus all the genetic influences which have come down to us from thousands of years are also stored, because now it is a known fact that the genes carry all the information, at least the hereditary information, traits, character, everything for so many generations. So they are there inside, and that information is also stored in the mind. So that part of the mind which has this information, in which we are not normally conscious, is the subconscious. The subconscious was a term I think coined by Freud, because he found out that other than the consciousness there is some other part of us working. Now the subconscious, now it has been discovered that the normal human being, although we think that we are most of the time using our subconscious mind, many of the actions of the conscious mind are dictated by the subconscious mind, of which we are not aware. And subconscious mind has so many influences that very often when we say we are living in the conscious mind, part of it is functioning because of the subconscious mind, of what has been stored there. In childhood, if you have had some experience and you have forgotten it in the conscious mind, it is still stored in the subconscious. So when you come to a situation, it will present itself in a different way in the conscious mind, because it is working from your subconscious experience of childhood. Like that, suppose when you are a small child, your teacher was very cruel, suppose, and that teacher who was very cruel had let us say a certain characteristic, had a big moustache or big ears or something. Later on you won't know it, but in your subconscious there will be a reaction to such people. You will not even realize why it's happening. The conscious mind will react to it because of the information from the subconscious. These are the subtle subconscious influences which we have. That is one part. The other is, it has been discovered that man or the human being uses only 10% of his capacity, mental capacity. 90% is still not used, and much of that which is not used is not tapped also. It's there somewhere, stored. What the yogi does is to go from the conscious to the subconscious, and from the subconscious to those parts of the mind or the brain which we normally don't use. Actually we use only 10% of our faculties. There are still 90% of the human mind's potential which we haven't tapped. What the yogi does is to go from the conscious to the subconscious, from the subconscious to that part from where the whole potential remains untouched. You may call that superconscious, although the ordinary psychiatrist and the psychologist does not accept that term. We call it the unconscious mind. So conscious, subconscious, unconscious. What they mean by unconscious is that which we are not normally conscious of, even in your subconscious mind. Actually we may call it superconscious. There is one branch of psychology which has not been entirely accepted by everybody, called parapsychology, in which they accept the term superconscious. which means that consciousness about which we don't have information and which has vast potential and very little of it has been used. Now, any human being at certain times may tap into the superconscious mind or into the subconscious mind, and that happens usually when the ordinary conscious mind is not caught up in strictly logical reasoning. I'll give you an example. Suppose by nature I am a very weak man or a very weak person, always wants to lie down, always wants to walk slowly and so on. And then suddenly I face a danger. Now when I face a danger, I don't have time to think that I am weak. Suddenly I face danger. Now I am faced with a situation where I have to take action, and it is so serious and urgent that I don't have time or the opportunity to use my conscious mind to think that I am weak, so I cannot face this. The conscious mind for some reason is totally shut off. Then suddenly the superconscious mind takes charge, and I do certain things which are normally people would say are really superhuman. And in the yogi's case, when he goes from the conscious to the subconscious deliberately, consciously, and from the subconscious to the superconscious, which is called unconscious in psychology, deliberately, then he taps into vast sources of energy and vast sources of thought and vast potential which has been untapped. That is the superconscious. You used one another word, cosmic consciousness. Now, this is some word which nobody will accept except in the yoga psychology. Scientists have not accepted this cosmic consciousness as a cosmic, yes, but not cosmic consciousness. Now, when you say cosmic consciousness, what I understand by it is the consciousness that pervades the entire universe. And the human being's link to cosmic consciousness is through his superconscious or through his unconscious. So in yoga practice, one goes from the conscious to the subconscious, from the subconscious to the superconscious, or you can call it unconscious if you like, because you are not conscious of it. And then from there, when you have come to the superconscious level, then you are in touch with the cosmic consciousness. See, for instance, even in ordinary matter, what we call non-living matter, although we call it non-living matter because it is not organic, that means it doesn't grow or multiply or breed, doesn't show any emotions and so on, so we call it non-living. But even that has some intelligence inbuilt into it. It's actually pinpoints of consciousness, because you know, for instance, if you are a scientist, that when an experiment, when two compounds, for instance, chemical compounds, when they combine to form another, or when two elements combine to form a compound, there is always an exchange of electrons. When an electron goes there, another comes here. So you know the what are those called, the orbits? The orbits. And that's why it's called valency, because you know that one electron is exchanged for another. So there seems to be some intelligence inside it, although there is no existing brain there, which brings about this union. Also, when they are separated, also when a reaction, when an electron goes there, another comes here. Now, who is sending these electrons up and down? I mean, it can't be accidental. If it was accidental, it won't happen always. And if it doesn't happen always, we can't be sitting here. Everything will disintegrate. Also, the electron has to keep moving. If it stops moving, the world will collapse. What is the energy that keeps it there all the time? It's not us anyway. We are not keeping it there. There is an inbuilt intelligence, and that is called cosmic consciousness. And in the level of the plants, even though we think that they are not alive, like we are alive, they are very much alive. They have cells, they are quite organic. That biologists know that. And where there is sunshine, they'll go looking for it. Where there is water, the roots go looking for it. We may think they have no life because they can't speak. The organs of speech and brain is not developed, but its brain is in every cell. So that is where cosmic consciousness pervades other living beings other than mammals and human beings. Human beings, superconscious connection is strong because his brain is so well developed. These don't have. So that is the connection. Normally we live in the conscious. But even when we say we live in the conscious, we are largely dictated by the subconscious. And the subconscious gathers its potential from the superconscious or from the unconscious. And the superconscious is linked directly to cosmic consciousness. So as the yogi goes step by step and reaches the superconscious, and where he establishes his link with the cosmic consciousness, then it's perhaps possible for the yogi to even make changes in the cosmic consciousness. Because then he realizes the same consciousness which is in me is also the same consciousness which is working in matter. And then you suddenly realize that it is the same intelligence that is working. So perhaps there is a chance of changing it if you want to.
So two are in him and one is outside, sir? Consciousness, that's two parts of it are in him which he has to realize, and then one is outside, sir?
First, conscious mind one doesn't have to realize. We have already realized the conscious mind. We know what is the conscious mind. Subconscious mind we normally are not aware of except in dreams. Or if we look carefully at the conscious mind, you will sometimes be doing things which you normally don't want to do because you are influenced by your memories of the subconscious. So you have to go from there to subconscious. And from subconscious you go to what is called superconscious. Right? Now, when you come to cosmic consciousness, you are no longer, it's not connected in any way with your brain. I mean, it doesn't remain only in you, it is all over. All these three are in you. Conscious, subconscious and superconscious you can touch. But the cosmic consciousness you cannot touch. Except when you have gradually shifted from this level to the level of the superconscious. Then it's possible to touch the cosmic consciousness. So if you ask whether these are in the human being, these are in the human being because the human being has a very advanced brain which is working. And beyond that, cosmic consciousness, normally it's not connected to the brain. But when one has reached the level of the superconscious, then one realizes the link with the cosmic consciousness, which is all pervading. And since it is all pervading, it is also in us. If it is everywhere, then it has to be in us also. All the cells of our body are connected to the cosmic consciousness. Because they are all living cells.
The subconscious, we can say, call it vasanas.
Vasanas are in the subconscious. The sum total of vasanas exist in the subconscious mind.
And then superconscious state as turiya.
When the yogi experiences the superconscious state, his mind, conscious mind, interprets it as turiya. When you are actually in the subconscious state, there is no way it can be described. There is no word really for it. Buddhists call it shunya, but because there is no way to grasp or define it. Why I am saying this is that the superconscious mind exists, turiya or no turiya, it is there. But when the conscious mind attains the state which is called turiya, then it experiences the superconscious mind. Superconscious mind is not turiya. The state in which it is experienced is turiya.
Mind is not there.
Not there. So, but it has to be gradual. It has to go from conscious to subconscious. So, therefore, first we have to study the conscious mind carefully, watch and investigate the conscious mind and see how much of it is ruled by the subconscious. Then one freedom comes. You slowly begin to be free of the subconscious goadings. And then, once you are clear, you know the whole matter, at least to some extent, the content of your subconscious mind, then you can step on to the superconscious. Scientists call it the unconscious, but it doesn't matter, same.
But subconscious mind can be also having so many positive qualities, the goading so many.
Yes, correct. What I am saying is, one should ultimately be free of everything. It has both, without, you see, sometimes many of the positive qualities which the conscious mind does not possess also come from the subconscious. It's not that it is not there. And we are saying, the yogi says that subconscious, the goodness in the subconscious comes from the superconscious. It is from the superconscious mind that the goodness enters the subconscious. And then from there filters on to the conscious, and man and the human being acts in a good way.
Behind
You have no idea. He said behind the cosmic consciousness is there something. Is there something behind the cosmic consciousness?
Meditation is supposed to change the subconscious because all our likes and dislikes drives comes from the subconscious. As they said, mind is like an iceberg. 3/4 is in the water, 1/4 is the superficial mind, which we deal daily, is only a little, but the whole, most of it, which is the subconscious, we have to change that.
See, the problem is we are in a great hurry to change it when we cannot even grasp it. So the first thing is to understand it. And if you keep on trying to change it, you cannot understand it. Because you are trying to attempt to change something which you do not understand. So first thing would be to go into the layers of the subconscious and study them. Then there is a chance of changing. Otherwise there is no chance of changing. How can we change something which is so mighty and vast that our conscious mind can hardly understand it? So the yogi through meditation calms down the conscious working of the brain so that the subconscious first reveals itself. When the subconscious reveals itself, you know how to put it in order. When you put it in order, then there is a chance that you can reach for the superconscious. And it is not a completely mechanical process, although yoga has provided methods of doing it. The method should not be mistaken for the goal. You understand what I mean? See, the conscious mind trying to understand the subconscious, which is vast, through analytical reasoning is an impossible task. You can begin to understand it only when the conscious mind quietens itself. When the conscious mind is quiet, then the subconscious begins to become clearer and clearer. Then you have a chance of going into it and really studying it in detail. When you have studied it in detail, you are able to stop it. or you are able to transcend it. Without studying it, you cannot transcend it. Suppose I don't know Umi at all. How can I deal with her? You understand? I cannot begin to deal with her without knowing her, because then I might be dealing in the wrong way. Because she may be doing something which I think as something else. So how do I do it? Only by understanding. And how do we understand it? Only by keeping out all opinions for the time being, not allowing opinions and prejudices to come in the way. Both good and bad. If I always say you are my friend, then I won't look at the bad side. If I always say you are my enemy, then I won't look at the good side. So all these have to be set apart. That's why they talk a lot in the Yoga Shastras about like and dislike and so on. Because if you have like and dislike, you cannot study anything. Because it will be prejudiced. The study will be prejudiced. So you have to study it clearly. And if you study it clearly, then you will be able to handle it. And perhaps transcend it.